Hey there, Tamir from Fibonacci-Traders.com, your daily market recap, November 1st, 2023. Rate decision, unchanged. SPY closed the day with 1% to the upside into the 50% retracement from a trend line, rejected, downtrend, to a trend line, bounce, to the 50% retracement. Now, all we need to see where price will end up this week. We have tomorrow Apple after the close. In my opinion, it will have a big impact on the market for the rest of the week, for the rest of the month. Let's see where SPY will head. For now, we are experiencing a bounce. Overall, look left, downtrend until proven otherwise. QQQ 1.74% to the upside. We had a downtrend from this yellow trend line, rejected, towards this yellow trend line, bounce. Now, take Fibonacci, swing high, swing low, 50% retracement. It's all about Fibonacci and trend lines. Let's see how the Qs will react on Friday, of course, to Apple's earnings. Dow Jones 0.67% to the upside, broke above and closed above the 50% retracement. Let's see continuation towards this red trend line. This red trend line will be a very difficult area of resistance. A weekly close above it, and we will see 341. IWM 0.57 to the upside, holding nicely. Bulls are fighting with all they have to keep above the 162. Let's see if we can get continuation towards the 168. 168 is the lower border of this red zone. This red zone was a very important area of support. Now it will become a very difficult area of resistance. Breaking below the 162, below this red line, and we will see the 156 gap getting filled. Bitcoin. Let's check the 4 hours chart. And as you can see, broke above the 35,186. Now this area needs to hold a support before the next leg up, and the next leg up will take us to 36,800, above it 39K overall Bitcoin after 2 weeks or so of sideways move, breaking to the upside. Ethereum at the 4 hours also looking pretty good, pretty bullish after also 10 days or so of sideways move between the 1784 and the 1860. Now trying to break above this purple trend line. This purple trend line goes way back to April's highs. Let's see continuation. Next resistance for Ethereum will be 1970 area. Crude oil continuation, its downside towards the 77, breaking below this red zone once again. Now heading towards the 77.70. NG1 natural gas futures trend lines. It's all about trend lines. Trend lines gives us the true roadmap for future price action. And as you can see, this trend line holding as resistance for the higher highs, which is pretty good resistance, because as long as price each and every time touches this trend line, we have higher highs, which is the definition of an uptrend. Now you can take Fibonacci. 338 to the downside is the support. Below it, this gap will get filled. Below 319, and we will see this area, the 3 area, once again getting retested. Price will retest this trend line to the downside. Gold basically moving sideways, nothing much. 1987 resistance, 1970 support. Long continuation above 1987, retracement continuation towards the 1945 below 1970. SOXX, not surprising, very bullish day, 235 to the upside after AMD's crazy run. We will talk about AMD in a few seconds, don't worry. And the rest of the Magnificent 7, Incredible 8, call it whatever you want. We'll talk about all of them. Now, let's see continuation. I want to see a weekly close above 457. And then we will start taking our long position slowly, 25% in the first initial long position. And each and every time price will close above the next level, we will add until we will have 100% position going into 502 gap. KRE still inside downtrend channel. Once again, perfect example. We can be a little bit more accurate. Doesn't really matter. It's an area of resistance, area of support, downtrend until proven otherwise. We'll start with AMD, 9.7% to the upside into trend line. You know these trend lines. We have talked about these trend lines in the past few weeks or so. And here we are into the trend line. Weekly close above it. Continuation, 111.40 is next resistance. And then weekly close above 111. And in my opinion, we will see 123 and then 131. But we need to wait and see at least a weekly close above this area. And then we can start building our long position on AMD. Apple 1.87% to the upside. Holding, broke and hold above the 170 area. That was a very difficult resistance in the past few days. Now heading towards this yellow trend line. Earnings coming up tomorrow, 4:30, 30 minutes after the closing bell. Good reaction, and Apple will go towards the 190 gap. And of course, we'll take the rest of the market with it to the upside. Bad reaction, and we will see this yellow trend line to the downside once again. No one knows what will happen, and it doesn't matter what we think about Apple as a company, and it doesn't matter what we think about Apple as a stock, and it doesn't matter what we think about Apple's reports, whether they are good or bad. The only thing that matters is how Mr. Market will react to those reports. Amazon 3% to the upside, close the gap, and not surprising, into this white trend line. You know this white trend line. We have talked about it in the past few days. Since earnings, we said we are expecting bullish continuation towards this white trend line. You're more than welcome to check previous daily market recap videos, and you will see. Now, broadening formation. Breaking up and above, we're heading towards the 143 area. You can take Fibonacci, swing low, swing high. Here you have it, 139 and then 146. You can also take Fibonacci from here to here, and you have everything 139, above it, 145. 134 now is the support. AMD we've talked, Microsoft with 2.35% to the upside, finally breaking above the 343 area, which is the 618 Fibonacci retracement. Downtrend, bounce, 618. Now let's see continuation towards the 353. Google, 1.9% to the upside. Still, I don't see, for me it's too risky. I don't like this price action. I want to see a weekly close above 128 area, and then we will assess the risk once again on Google, maybe going towards the 137 gap. Meta 3.5% to the upside. You have Fibonacci above the 618. Next is the 318, 618 Fibonacci 310 area from support, resistance, support. Now breaking once again up and above. And we have this trend line. So let's see, breaking above this trend line, and we are heading towards back to 331 area. Tesla 2.4% to the upside, but still in a downtrend. And as you can see, lower highs, lower lows on the short term, lower highs, lower lows on a higher time frame. You want to go long on Tesla? We need to wait at least a weekly close above the 208 area, and then slowly start building your long position back on Tesla. Netflix 2% to the upside, and surprise, surprise, into this yellow trend line. You know this trend line. Now we have a gap here at the 412. We might get this gap getting filled already tomorrow. Weekly close above this yellow trend line, and we will start taking our long position on Netflix, going into 468 gap. Take Fibonacci. Here you have all the levels. Weekly close above 422.53, and then 430 area, 453, and then towards this gap over here. Nvidia 3.8%, long time, not so long, 10 days ago, 1 week ago we had the same candle, but we are still very skeptical about this Nvidia bounce. We need a weekly close at least above 436 area, 437. No need to guess. Take Fibonacci. Look at where price closed today. Fibonacci retracement resistance. 432 is next. Closing a weekly above this 432, 433. Then we can start taking slowly long position on Nvidia. Overall, we are still, this is why I don't follow patterns. Patterns are not reliable. We are still in a downtrend. 442 will be the next major resistance. Be careful with Nvidia. In my opinion, only above 442. We can start taking long position above 432, but only above 442, then we can start saying that we are bouncing back up. Shopify tomorrow before the opening bell. Earnings report. Shopify trying to bounce off this white trend line, same as it did here, same as it did here. Next resistance will be this red zone that was a very important area of support, broke to the downside, and by natural things of price action, it will become a very tough resistance for future price action. All depends on the report. Bad reaction, and Shopify is heading south. Towards where? Don't guess. Never guess. This is not a guessing game. You have Fibonacci. 39, 95, 40 area will be the next support. How do we know? We don't, but we can look left. We have double top scenario over here, multi-top scenario if you want, on a higher time frame, on the monthly time frame, breaking below this white trend line, and we will see 40 to the downside. Good reaction, and we will head inside this red zone, and then closing these two gaps to the upside. The only thing we have full control of is risk management. Check the links in the description below for more educational resources about how to read candlestick analysis, aka pure price action on multi-time frames, Fibonacci, trend lines, and most importantly, risk management. Thank you very much for joining and watching this video. Like, subscribe if you found it helpful. Until the next video, until the next live, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Stay safe.